And the big story that we are tracking at this hour is about women's safety, which seems to be a challenge for the tourist destinations. Despite assurances, speeches and rhetorics, women in India continue to bear the brunt of sexual predators. Two shocking incidents that have come to light are reported today from major tourist hubs, Goa and Kerala. In the first incident, a young girl was raped by a tempo driver in Goa while she was on a vacation with a group of 14 friends. In another shocking incident, a South Korean woman was sexually assaulted in Kerala's Kozhikode. Let's get more details. In a horrific case, a young girl who was on a vacation in Goa was raped by a tempo driver. The girl, a student from Mumbai, was part of a group of 14 people traveling in a tempo traveler around Goa. The group, including the survivor, had gone for a party. The survivor, however, felt uneasy and returned to the tempo. The driver of the tempo then, finding her alone, allegedly sexually assaulted her. Goa police has registered a case in the matter. The accused driver, a resident of Goa, has been arrested in the case as well. Now, a South Korean woman who was in Kerala. A South Korean woman has been sexually assaulted in Kerala's Kozhikode. The woman was sexually assaulted during her stay in the city, and the incident only came to light after she was stopped by security officials at the Karipur airport. She was later handed over to the police and showed signs of trauma, following which she was sent to Kozhikode Medical College Hospital for a medical examination. She then revealed her horror to a doctor, and the same was confirmed by medical reports. Kozhikode town police have even registered a case based on the medical report and the doctor's statement. My colleague Vivek and Swarali are getting us more inputs on these two very important stories that we are tracking, one coming from Goa and the other coming in from Kerala. Both of these are tourist destinations, especially in the festive season, in the holiday season. I'll go across to you, Swarali, first. It appears that women's safety, especially in the holiday season between Christmas to New Year, where we see large number of people flocking to places like Goa and Kerala, no longer seem to be safe. Do we know anything from the administration's end if they're planning to carry out any patrolling or any sort of a vigilance that can possibly guarantee the safety of tourists, whether they are Indian tourists or the international tourists? Their safety is going to be our responsibility from the administration's end.
Right now the matter is under investigation and no such update has been given to us that any special drive has been let out. But let me tell you, if on such festive seasons women are unsafe, then it's a huge drawback to women's safety. We can say that because it was a Christmas day when all the group of students decided to go for a trip, and they had hired this minibus wherein allegedly the survivor was raped. Now she was intoxicated. That is also a fact to be noted, but the driver, took the advantage of she being alone and in a position of being intoxicated, and whatever incident happened was done. After that, the FIR was registered in Panji Women's Police Station, and within the 3 to 5 hours of time, this driver was nabbed, and right now he's in a remand for the 5 days. So the entire thing is under investigation. But when we tried to speak with the women over here, let me tell you, they said that that's very, very true that women are excelling in every field and they have all the right to enjoy. But there is this constant pressure of being aware and constant pressure that we need to look around our vicinity, around surrounding, that who are the people who are standing around us. We also tried to talk with the women biker. She is young and she travels across the state of Maharashtra. While talking to us, she told us that being a woman, we need to plan our trip properly. If it would have been a male, they can just kick their bike and start and go across the places. But being a woman, constantly there is a pressure who is looking at us, where to stop, proper restrooms. So the point over here is that even in this era wherein women are flying high, excelling in every possible field, the safety perspective, the safety matter is still
the challenge of women's safety seems to be far from over for the administration, it seems. Let me take that question across to Vivek as well, who is joining us from Kerala. Well, Vivek, when it comes to international tourists, international travelers, it seems that they end up becoming a soft target at the hands of the locals over here, especially when it comes to the issues of sexual assault. We did see how this entire episode unfolded in Mumbai, where the South Korean national was harassed on camera. It was all on record. And now you're telling us about yet another incident being reported in Kerala. Give us more details about it.
Yes, such incidents has been repeating in Kerala. Remember, it was in 2018 we saw a tourist who had come from a European country was raped and murdered here, and we also saw the sentencing of that particular case. Now, after this South Korean woman had come to Calicut in the month of December, in the first week of December, and she had stayed in 2 hotels. Now, after that, the people over there noticed that she was facing some kind of trauma. Mental trauma, and then she was taken to a hospital where to the doctor she has deposed that she was sexually harassed. But after that, when the doctors conveyed this message to the police, and the police took a statement, she did not mention about that. And also, when I spoke to the police officers today regarding this particular case, they say that there are certain issues that needs to be confirmed as far as this case is concerned, because the woman has not informed from where this happened, when did this happen. So all those things need to come out. So today, right now, she is admitted in the Kozhikode Medical College Hospital, and tomorrow, I understand that she will be questioned again. A detailed statement will be, noted by the Nadaka police. Also, remember, the medical examination has confirmed that she was sexually harassed. So now the question is from where, who was the perpetrators, what actually led to this? Because remember, in Kerala, such incidents had been reported earlier a number of times, and hence the government is taking up this matter very, very seriously. The police is not revealing much of the details. Even the FIR copy is not being shared at this point of time. And hence,
Vivek,
today
most of this is only
she
a
will
lip
be
service by the state
admitted in the
government
hospital.
and the
And tomorrow,
administration when it comes to women's safety. It is only comes to light when they want votes and they're coming into people's houses asking for votes. Women's safety doesn't fall as a priority for the government at the state level or even at the central for that matter. Thank you, Swarali and Vivek, for joining us with all those details. But I also have our guest joining us, Niyati, who is a travel blogger, Aastha, who is a Goa traveler as well, and Dr Charu who is a former member of the NCW and advocate of Supreme Court. Appreciate you all joining me at this point in time. And we also have Giriraj Pai, who is a spokesperson on Goa BJP. I'll come across to you first, Mr. Giriraj Pai. Appreciate you all joining us on this very important subject that we are talking about over here. Mr. Varnikar, when it comes to women's safety, it falls right at the bottom of the list for the politicians and political parties once the elections are over. Especially in the festive season between Christmas to New Year, Goa often sees a large number of people coming either from India or world over. What sort of a parameters do you have in place to ensure that women travelers, specifically women tourists, most of them are even solo travelers for that matter, feel safe? What steps have you taken so far, sir? Could you please elucidate on that?
I do not want to, make it political, but I just want to let you know that, Goa government, which is led by the BJP here, is women-centric and women-led government. We also look at, various welfare schemes. So it's safety plus welfare that we've been doing through various schemes. But coming to specifically to women's safety, if you remember in 2021, Goa became the first state which started a pink force, which is a police force dedicated to women and with women officers present in the vehicles, and they are spread across Goa. Not just that, every police station in Goa today has 24/7 at least one women officer present. While saying this, we were also the first state which has a dedicated tourist force. So while I, want to, assure the people that women's safety is of paramount importance and any crime against women has zero tolerance as far as the government is concerned. While your reporter himself said that as soon as the matter was reported, we were very quick to arrest the perpetrator, and we are also looking at all angles. And let me assure you that all the required precautions will be taken to ensure that such incidents don't happen. And just to say, Goa has already, a lot of times what happens is crimes are reported by people who are known to the victim. And in such cases, crime detection also becomes very important. And in last 2 years, we have been consistently, having a crime detection rate of more than 98%. While I agree there should be zero tolerance, and trust me, the government.
You've made your point over there, Mr. Giriraj Pai Varnikar. We get your point over there. We, of course, compliment and appreciate the fact that you took a strong action. But when it comes to these vigilance and the patrolling that you're mentioning, let me ask Aastha, who is a traveler in Goa. Aastha, have you seen any patrolling vehicle around? Have you seen that any police vigilance is in there? Do you think that you feel safe in Goa, especially at a time, maybe at night or when you're partying, when these incidents take place? Do you see a car around that you can walk up to and register a case of harassment if there is any?
I would say that I've been traveling in Goa for quite a while now. And I would say that yes, there is definitely presence of police patrolling. There is presence of pink police force as well. Having said that, these precautions are in place, but and I would say that I still feel very safe in Goa as a solo woman traveler. But definitely things can improve, and there are times. But I think that's as a solo woman traveler, like systematically in our society and how things are shaped and the infrastructure provided by the governments all over India, I would say that there have been instances when you do feel unsafe. But I would not say that overall as a woman traveler that you're extremely unsafe.
Okay, I will have to interject over there, Aastha. I'm also joined by senior actress and activist Nafisa Ali. Appreciate you joining us here, Miss Ali, on this very important subject that we are discussing on Mirror now when it comes to women's safety in Goa. This episode that came to light where this woman was raped by the truck driver is a student. She was there with 14 of her friends. That driver has been arrested, ma'am. But do you think there is a need for the state administration to be more vigilant and provide women's safety, especially for tourists in the festive season?
Can I ask you one question? This truck driver, was he a local guy or was he a national truck driver? Because as I
ma'am,
live
he
in
was
Goa,
a local guy. He was a local resident of Goa. Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Which is very shocking because he has brought disgrace to Goa, because Goa as a state and its people are very generous and magnanimous and caring for travelers. My request as an elder would always be that Goa is not a place where you party and become drugged out or drunk or senseless. You come in groups. You groups should look out for each other. You should not be or allow yourselves to be mismanaged or not be able to know right from wrong. And don't get into a place where you can get into trouble, because Goa technically is totally safe. Yes, I see police only on the areas where these tourists are on motorbikes without helmets, and they all pile up on, challan them for that. That is, in my opinion, a total waste of police time. The administration should be going from shack to shack, looking at all the misbehavior on beaches of bottles, alcohol, and drugs, and not turn your eye away, because this is where problems arise. So if you're strict as an administration in taking care to do right, like you have lifeguards on the beach. They blow the whistle, the lifeguards, the life jeep comes, it blows the whistle. It blows the whistle, and people have to listen. So they have to listen, and they've learned to listen.
So, ma'am, you are trying to say, Miss Ali, you are trying to say that the tourists who come to Goa whether they are national tourists or they are coming from any part of the world, they ought to be responsible themselves, that they need to conduct themselves responsibly, that Goa administration cannot be solely blamed for their safety.
No, because how much policing can the police do? They don't have enough police force. The other thing is, drugs are
Right.
rampant everywhere. Why are we allowing this? Why is the police not cracking down on those people? Why are we catching the petty guys and allowing the big guys to get away? Everywhere in the Adani port in Gujarat, so many thousands of crores worth of drugs. No news where it's gone, what happened. So what is the administration doing?
Well, we'll
This is
take
my
that question across to the
Goa.
BJP
Goa
spokesperson from Goa, who's joining us.
Goa is a very safe place. I love Goa and I love their people and I love the people of Goa because they know how to accept and care for and not look at someone, whether they are in a bikini or otherwise, on a motorbike driving to the streets. They are respectful. And that
Appreciate
is a
you
beauty.
joining us, Miss Ali, with all your views on that the tourists should conduct themselves responsibly. And I'll take a question across to the spokesperson of Goa BJP, who is still with us, Mr. Varnikar. You know what Miss Ali was saying is that why is the administration letting go of major areas of concern unchecked? She specifically mentions about, drug peddlers over there, or, the manner in which the young are conducting themselves. They are throwing bottles around and they are dirtying the area. That individual responsibility lies with tourists as well. But of course, the administration should go from shack to keep a check and vigil. Sir, are you doing that?
See, I think I have highest regards for Nafisa ji as an actor, but I think she also has a compulsion, given her political linkages, not to praise the Goa government, which belongs to the BJP. Having said that, I agree with her that Goan people are hospitable and always open to tourists, no matter how you are dressed. Goa has always seen tourism, and we get about 9 million tourists a year. And if you see, especially post-COVID, we've been breaking almost all records of tourist footfall, and despite of
Mr.
that,
Varnikar, I'd like to interject over there. I do not think that Nafisa Ali was taking a partisan stand owing to a political allegiance. She was just talking like a resident from Goa. She has mounted and heaped praises on the Goa administration and the people of Goa as well. But if there is an area of concern, sir, she also has a right to flag it. And let me take that question across to Dr. Khanna, who's also joining us. Appreciate you still being with us, Dr. Charu Ali Khanna. The point that Ms. Ali was making was that the responsibility of an individual tourist also lies with the person concerned. Whether you are coming down from abroad or you are a national tourist, when you are going out in groups, it's your responsibility to look out for each other. But that being said, it is still the responsibility of the administration who is inviting these number of people to flock to Goa, the tourism ministry for that matter, or the state administration, to keep a vigil and ensure their safety.
I think you all have lost the plot and you're detracting from the main issue. The main issue, a girl has been sexually assaulted by a tourist vehicle driver. And we're discussing everything else. We're discussing drugs, we're discussing alcohol. Drinking alcohol is not a crime. I drink. To rape a woman is a crime. So let's get serious about the crime and not talk about other things, about beer bottles on the road and helmets. Every citizen in India is known for its Athithi Devo Bhava. So every part you can say they're hospitable. It's not only in Goa that people are very good, but then there are these perpetrators of the crime. There are persons who have a very negative mindset and they need to be controlled. If the pink police, which the lady blogger was talking about, is there, and if they're visible, then the woman should have had the courage to reach out to them, but obviously they were not visible.
who
And
is
if
also with us. Aastha, who is a content creator on for online portal. Aastha, if you're still with us, you also travel length and breadth of the country. And the point that Dr. Khanna was making is that we are deviating from the subject matter. You, as a solo traveler in India, do you feel safe? That is the question, the moot question that we're asking over here. Please go ahead with your views on it.
I'll be very honest. I've been traveling for more than a decade now, and I have to say that I have been safe. I have never experienced any sort of mishap happening. Having said that, there is always, being a solo woman traveler in India, you always have a sense of that something could happen, and you have to be definitely more vigilant. Like, there is this extra responsibility as a woman solo traveler to stay vigilant and to take care of yourself. And yeah, that is what I would say.
Absolutely.
And
And
that is
Niyati, who's also
regardless
a
of whether
travel
you.
blogger, joining us right now on the broadcast. Niyati, since you are also a travel blogger, tell us about your experience. Have you ever had an experience or an episode where you have felt unsafe while traversing through the length and breadth of the country or abroad, where you've had to encounter certain episodes that you felt unsafe?
More than these experiences during travel outside, I've actually had those experiences traveling in public transport in Mumbai, which is very, very crowded. A lot of times you'll have men who will just try to brush you. So that's why women have to literally stand holding themselves like this so that they
Absolutely. I
don't
will
get
have to
brushed from
interject.
every
Hold your
corner.
thought, Niyati and Dr. Khanna. I will come back to you, but I'm also joined by senior spokesperson of the Congress Party, Ms. Shama Mohammed, here with us. Appreciate you joining us, Ms. Shama Mohammed. We were discussing about women's safety, and there's an episode that has come to light from the state of Goa and Kerala. Since you hail from Kerala, I have to ask you this question. Women's safety doesn't seem to be a priority for the government, because this is another episode where a South Korean national was sexually harassed. What do we know about the situation in Kerala when it comes to women's safety? Please go ahead with your thoughts.
Yeah, so women's safety has been an issue under the CPM government or the LDF government in Kerala. As we all know, the Walayar rape case had happened, and a 9-year-old and a 12-year-old were raped by a DYFI person. And that person right now is outside. They were raped and murdered, killed, a mother's 2 children. It was very famous, this rape case, and she got no justice, the mother. Then we had an actress who was molested, and that case was very famous. The actress was literally begging for justice to the CM. I still remember that. So if an actress cannot get justice, a public figure cannot get justice in Kerala, I fathom what would happen to the normal public there. I mean, poor people, middle class people. So this is the situation in Kerala. Women are being sexually harassed, are being raped, and there is no justice. And this has been a problem in Kerala after the LDF government took over in 2016.
But ma'am, do you
So
think there is a need for the state administration to ensure better safety parameters are put in place for women, especially in the festive season between Christmas and Goa, where Kerala is a tourist destination where several tourists flock to, whether they are from India or abroad?
see, one thing which I notice in Kerala and all over India is that we have a lot of VIP security for our politicians and various people. But police patrolling on the roads is very less, which you see in outside India. If you go abroad, the first thing you see is a lot of police patrolling during the Christmas or New Year or these seasons. But here, including Delhi, one doesn't see much of police patrolling. And Kerala, I hardly seen something called police patrolling. So I think that has to be improved on, increased, because that's very important. That's when you see. I mean, we have heard of cases where 500 meters from a chowki, police chowki, a girl is raped and murdered. We have heard such cases. I mean, how does that happen? So police patrolling should be increased, which is very essential for women. And in Kerala, as I said, the Walia rape case, it's still there. The person who has raped the alleged rapist is out free. I fail to understand how that happens. So law and order in Kerala is not at the best at this point of time, especially for women. And as I've confirmed, police patrolling is one of the most important things, and stringent punishment. See, the problem in our country is rapists don't have stringent punishment. Let us take the case of Bilkis Banu. You know what has happened? They are gang rapists. child murderers, slaughtered her relatives, and they're out on remission. I mean, what is happening? What is the message India is giving about rapists? Is that you can rape, get convicted, and you can be out, or you might not even get convicted. So that is a very wrong message. Bilkis Banu's, giving remission to
Absolutely.
Bilkis rapists and mass murderers was the wrong message India gave, and the present government, the Bharatiya Janata Party government, is solidly behind it, because as we all know, without the central government's permission, or they can't do it, as it was a CI investigation, and the central government has to give the go-ahead. It can't be done alone by the state government.
Absolutely, ma'am.
So that
Appreciate you joining us, Ms. Shama Mohammed, on this very crucial debate that we are carrying out over here when it comes to solo women travelers or women travelers in general in India not feeling safe at tourist hubs like Kerala and Goa. Appreciate you and taking out time for making those valued input. But we also have a caller joining us from Vijayawada. Appreciate you joining us. Please go ahead with your views on it.
Madam, I'm giving this one. Actually, whether it is Goa or Kerala or anywhere, whoever the people who are roaming around these tourist hubs and catching the girls, they should be wound off and arrested in advance, and they should be taught a lesson. Then you can prevent these things instead of doing something after the event is over. It is better.
Absolutely, ma'am. Appreciate you joining us. Bala from Vijayawada. Let me take that question across to Dr. Khanna, who is still with us. Dr. Khanna, this is the statement that our caller was making a short while ago, that an afterthought to take action once the incident has taken place is something that is not being able to send across a strong message across to all those with criminal minds, that action should be taken at a precautionary stage. Ma'am, please go ahead with your views on it.
Absolutely. I think she's made the most intelligent, given the most intelligent response in this session, because that's what's required is prevention. And there are so many methods of prevention. In fact, for petty offenses, there should be a registry. They should have anklet tracing. This person is not, I'm assuming he would not be a first-time offender. They start with groping women, trying to sexually molest them, and then it comes to this level. So until you curb this tendency or change the mindset or curb the tendency and take strict action, but government has to implement measures all over the world. These measures are being implemented. There's a national registry of sexual offenders. Whenever, they would not put him in jail for a petty offense, but initially they put an anklet or a bracelet so they can track him, monitor him. But we're not doing anything. And where is the visibility, like someone else also spoke about? If you go overseas, I mean, Christmas in other countries, there are thousands of people. It's like a neck-to-neck, shoulder-to-shoulder celebration. And everybody is drinking since morning. But there's so much police patrolling that no one dare do anything wrong. And even if someone touches you and you make a noise, immediately the siren comes, the police pick you up and take you. But here, what is happening? I mean, you may have some random police pink car somewhere which doesn't even have a marking, like what's happened in Maharashtra. The Nirbhaya Fund cars, those vehicles, SUVs, they did not even have a marking, so they could be used for VIP protection. I mean, where is the visibility?
Absolutely. And let me take that question across to Mr. Giriraj Pai, who still continues to be with us. Dr. Khanna is making a very pertinent point over here, sir, that, abroad, it's even worse. The crowd is in thousands, of course. But when it comes to carrying out patrolling, it should be carried out at the preventive stage itself. To say that, yes, the Goa administration took action in time and they nabbed the accused, appreciate that, but that is not enough, sir. There has to be a mechanism by which these incidents do not take place, and there is a fear in the minds of those who are even contemplating any such incident when the tourists are around. Sir, do you have any mechanism in place?
So I fully agree with Dr. Khanna when she says that, prevention is the best measure. And I think, as I said, Pink Force and other aspects are a step towards that. Also, if you see now, in 2 days, we will have the biggest festival, Sunburn, which will start in Goa. And just yesterday, we have announced through the police that there will be checks for both women's safety as well as drugs. To ensure that there are no cases of drug overdose or anybody stealing drugs. So prevention is yes what we are moving towards. And as I said, I mean, in some cases it becomes very difficult because the perpetrator is known to the victim, and in such cases it becomes very difficult for the police as well. And that is where I only spoke that crime detection becomes important. But I agree in 100% agreement with Dr. Khanna, saying that prevention is the best mechanism, and the government will do everything possible to increase the vigil, especially during the festive season.
Thank you so much, Mr. Varnakar and Dr. Khanna, for joining us on this very important debate that we were tracking over here at Mirror Now. Of course, the idea will be to carry out prevention as an afterthought. Just taking action is not going to do enough. It is the festive season. It is the holiday season. There are going to be tourists and people from across the world and India traveling to these tourist hubs, but they ought to feel safe, and their safety lies as a responsibility of our administration.